No substitute for being here. This was an unforced error on the part of the Biden administration. I'm hoping that there's enough political will on the other side of the aisle to do what they should have done in the first place, and that's not to try to fix something that wasn't broken and go back to what is working.
All right. Right now, nothing seems to be working at the border. You're looking at these live drone shots. We're getting along the border here in the Rio Grande and the same area that a lot of these senators, including Senator Mike Braun of Indiana, visited, including a detention facility for minors that's meant to hold about 250 people, but presently houses more than 4,000, largely teenagers. The senator is back home in Indiana right now. He joins us out of Jasper. Senator Mike Braun, very good to have you. What did you learn yesterday, Senator?
Well, it was a whirlwind tour. We got down there a little before midnight, quickly loaded up, went down to the Rio Grande River where there's a port of entry and where there's just a stream of illegal immigrants coming in with signs and arrows in terms of how to do it. I learned that all you need to do is get halfway across the river, and you've made it because that's where the boundary line is. But that evening, to show you how brazen the other side is, the smugglers and coyotes. We get down to the river, and of course, nothing's going on because they knew we were coming. And all of a sudden, you hear heckling from the other side. I asked the Border Patrol, well, who is that? Because they were speaking in Spanish. Said, those are coyotes and smugglers saying, regardless of what you do, we're going to keep coming. That's the way the trip started. We went back that evening. You could see a stream of mostly kids and very young adults, some infants, going into two staging areas under an interstate, under a road, port of entry, because there's so many people coming in with that welcome sign that Biden put out there, and he shut everything down that Trump was doing that was working before. It's a mess.
Now, as you know, the president, the White House has pointed to this happening many times in the past, and that there was a spike in this activity back in 2019, and they blamed, at the time, President Trump cutting $450 billion in funding to Mexico. Do you buy that? Do you believe that?
If you look at the map, Ron Johnson did it, Lindsey Graham, and we've used it often right here. It shows all the peaks and valleys. And the most recent one would have been when Trump started talking about staying place in Mexico. And of course, there was a surge, because what impressed me most are the people on the other side that are making $4,000 a head on any Central American and Mexican. That's per person, not family, up to $20,000 on other nationalities if they can pay more. And they've got a logistics system, Neil, that knows how to work the system when you give them the opportunity. It was at a 45-year low, which President Biden failed to mention, when you had the wall built to the extent, even though you got gaps in it where he shut it down, and you had placement in Mexico where you weren't let into the country, and you were working with the Northern Triangle countries. Biden politically said, we're stopping it because it was Trump. He's got a fiasco. There's not the total figures. February was about 100,000. It's going to hit about 140,000 in March. This is along the whole sector of the southern border. Texas has got 4 or 5 separate sections themselves. And 250,000 is what the Border Patrol said they're bracing for. And you know what's happening now? You get there, you're so overwhelmed. You saw the pictures in the facilities. There was a Biden administration lady there telling us not to take pictures. Border Patrol told us as well, but you could tell that was kind of perfunctory and that they knew we were going to. This is going to get only worse rather than better. We took a trip up the river and back, spanned about a half an hour, 40 minutes. And I said, how can people get across that quickly? They said they're ingenious. They got a raft system, and all you need to do is get halfway across the river. In that span of 30 or 40 minutes, we come back, there was a body floating. So evidently, they tried to go through, and someone drowned in the process in that 40-minute stretch right before the news conference.
All right.
That's the kind of stuff that's
Just
happening.
incredible.
I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America.